Today we will be reviewing my Honolulu International Airport and all of the upgrades I have done to it. Let's go. Starting off on the runway, as you can see, we are using reverse ops today, so they're taking off the opposite way that they usually would. We have the Southwest Airlines 737 MAX 8. This aircraft will be heading out to Kahului. Second in line for departure, we have this Alaska Airlines 737-900. This aircraft is getting ready to head onto the runway and will be heading out to Seattle. As of making this video, Alaska Airlines has retired all of their Airbus A320s. Moving on to the next aircraft, we have this United Airlines 777-300. This aircraft is third in line for departure and will be heading out to Chicago O'Hare. At the end of the runway here, we have this FedEx Airlines MD-11F. This aircraft is taxiing off the runway and it just arrived in from Ontario. And the final taxiing aircraft is this American Airlines Airbus A321 in the stand-up to cancer livery. This aircraft just arrived in from Los Angeles. And moving on to the first terminal, we have this Japan Airlines 787-9 Dreamliner, currently loading on the passengers and will be heading out to Osaka. And following that, we have this ANA Airbus A380 in the flying Honu livery. This aircraft is loading on the passengers and will be heading out to Tokyo Haneda this afternoon. And moving on to a group of Hawaiian Airbus A330s, we have this Hawaiian A330 in the new livery. This aircraft will be pushing back shortly and heading out to Auckland. And moving on to the next one, we have another Hawaiian Airbus A330-200. This aircraft is in the old livery and it just arrived in from Seattle. And finally, for the Airbus A330s, this one is also in the new livery by NG Models. This aircraft will be heading out to Las Vegas this afternoon. Next up, we'll be moving on to the newly designed regional terminal for Hawaiian Airlines. As you can see, we added some gate markings, some jetways, and some terminals. Starting off at this very first Hawaiian 717 in the new livery, he'll be pushing back shortly and doing a flight down to Lahui today, which is a very short hop. And moving on to the next 717, this aircraft is in the old livery this time and will be heading out to Kahului, Kona this afternoon. And moving on to another Hawaiian 717.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
This aircraft will be arriving in from Maui this afternoon. Many of you guys know exactly where I get my model aircraft from, but for those of you who don't, I get them from the Midwest Model Store. They have hundreds of models as well as military models and a bunch of other stuff on there. So go ahead and check them out, and if you use my code MileHigh Aviation at checkout, you will get 10% off your cart and a shout out on my YouTube channel. Moving on to the Central Concourse, this is housing many airlines such as Southwest, American, United, Delta, Japan Airlines, and a few others. Starting off at the Central Concourse, we have the Southwest Airlines 737-800, introducing their new Wanna Stay Home program after canceling thousands of flights across the United States. But this aircraft will be departing for the flight out to Los Angeles. And following that, we have this United Airlines 737-800 in the Star Alliance livery. This aircraft will be pushing back and heading out to San Francisco. And following that, we have this Delta Airlines 757-200. This aircraft just arrived in from Los Angeles. And moving on to a new aircraft that hasn't been at Honolulu in quite a while or possibly ever, which is the Delta Airbus A350. They've been using the A330 but never the A350. So this Delta A350 will be heading out to Detroit. And moving on to this Japan Airlines 767, this aircraft is in the special livery and it just arrived in from Osaka, Japan. Moving on to another new aircraft, we have this gorgeous Alaska 737 MAX 9. I forget the exact name of this livery, I just know it's the orca with the whales and everything. This is a very neat aircraft that's been designed by Alaska, and it'll be heading down to Portland today. Moving on to one of two Hawaiian Airbus A321s. This first one is getting loaded on the passengers and catered, and this aircraft will be heading down to Oakland, California today. Just arrived in from San Jose, we have this Hawaiian Airlines Airbus A321, and it's currently offloading the passengers and getting ready for the turnaround flight. Moving on to the third terminal, also known as the Diamond Head Concourse. This terminal houses Qantas, Philippine Airlines, United, and many other airlines. Moving on to the Diamond Head Concourse, also known as Concourse 3, we have this Philippine Airlines Airbus A330-300. This aircraft will be heading out to Manila as always. They haven't added any new routes or changed the aircraft. I'd like to see them add it on a Airbus A350. I think that would be very cool, but they haven't done so yet. And the same situation with this aircraft, we have this Qantas Airlines 787-9 Dreamliner. This aircraft will be departing for the flight out to Sydney, and it is in the 100th year anniversary livery. Qantas has been using the Airbus A330-300 for all of its flights to the one and only location, which is Sydney. Moving on to the next aircraft, we have this United Airlines 787-10 Dreamliner. United has been expanding its presence at Honolulu. They now have 14 routes. Unfortunately, they will be canceling the Orange County route as it wasn't doing so well for them, but this aircraft will be heading out to Washington IAD. And finally, at this terminal, we have this United Airlines 777-200, which I am now realizing the engine is very pointed upward. This aircraft will be departing for the flight out to San Francisco. Currently, they are flying this aircraft to San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Denver. I'll be flying to Maui in Denver on the 777-200, and I am very excited for that. Next up, we'll be moving over to the cargo section, which is currently only housing 2 aircrafts. And moving on to the first one, we have this Kalitta Air 747-400. It is so awesome to see the Dash 400 still flying, even if it's in freighter. And this particular livery is with the mask on. And this aircraft will be departing for the flight out to Los Angeles, and it just arrived in from there. And finally, for the cargo section, we have this Prime Air 767 freighter just loading on the baggage, and it'll be heading out to Portland. Amazon Air has been expanding a little bit of its service at Honolulu. That does conclude today's Gemini Jets airport update of Honolulu International Airport. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy this video, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel to help support me, and also dropping a like. Dropping a like on the video helps push it out to more people, and that further helps my YouTube channel. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.